What got me into men's work coincides perfectly with me coming to Sheffield at this point in time in my life. And what I didn't realise at that point in time, I was changing career from being a teacher to becoming a coach. And I hadn't anticipated the idea that from moving from one city to another, actually, I didn't know how to meet people. I'd gone from working in a school, which was all chaotic, and that's how you make friends. It's just your colleagues that you teach alongside, to suddenly coming home and working on Zoom, where the people that I speak to are just virtual, and that's all. And I hadn't anticipated how big a shift that would actually be for me personally. And as a result of all this, it just became, well, my life is just me. I'm living in Sheffield with my partner, but I don't know anybody. And I've not got the skills to my best knowledge at that point in time as how to even meet people that are my age outside of work. Nobody seems to teach men that skill in their late 20s. And I had to learn that myself. And coming into men's work was quite haphazard for me in that sense. I randomly somebody mentioned the idea of Andy's Man's Club at that point in time, which felt like it wasn't really for me at that particular point in time. And as soon as I researched that, this other charity came up, which is how I met Anger, which is this little charity in Sheffield called Men Up North. And my first thought was, well, there's nothing wrong with me, so I don't really need to go. I'm not addicted to anything, so it's not really my kind of place. And I've fought with all these thoughts. I put it off for a few weeks, and I eventually turned up. And as soon as I went, the first topic of conversation was on addiction. And I was like, well, what am I doing? I knew I shouldn't be here. I've put this off for so long, and the first thing we talk about is addiction. And when it came to my turn to talk, I was like, I'm not really addicted to anything. Where people had opened up about all these difficulties with drugs and with alcohol and with everything else, and the best I could come up with, I was addicted to like reading self-help books. I was addicted to maybe being a bit of a workaholic, but that had a different substance to it compared to what everyone else was saying. And that was sort of like my very messy introduction to men's work. And at the end of that, I just thought straight away, but it's not for me. It's not really what I need to do. But then a few days later, the thought came back of, oh, but what happens if it's a different topic next time? Maybe I just got like unlucky, I suppose, in the sense of that one didn't really resonate with me. And the next topic that we started to talk about, it was all around this idea of purpose, of life purpose and of values. And that really, really stood out to me. That was clearly what I was needing at that particular point in time, but I didn't know the words for it. I didn't know how to express it. So my journey into men's work in one sense started in a really, really messy, inefficient way of just seeing what happens and being open and curious about myself and trying to explore these different ways of being, which I'd never really considered before.